Hey crafty people! Welcome back to my channel, and in case you're new here, I'm Sarah, also known as Craft Nerd because I'm a nerd who loves to craft. I do paper crafting, card making, junk journaling, and mixed media art. Let's get crafting! Welcome back for another Mass Make Monday. Today we are going to do an idea I saw on Gail Agostinelli's channel. And I actually came up with a couple variations on what she did. And what we're gonna use is 12 by 12 paper. I have so much 12 by 12 paper. I'm so excited about using some of this stuff up. I've got my timer for 45 minutes, but before we start, I'm gonna just quickly show you the Gail's version and then my two variations, and then we'll get going. So she cut down and used the entirety of a single sheet of 12 by 12 paper to create an over the page belly band. It goes over the page like so. And then it's got a pocket down here and a tuck spot. No, it's upside down. It goes this way. Pocket down here, tuck spot up there. And then with the rest of the paper, she created a double pocket, although you could make it triple by how you glue it down on your page. Completely up to you. So that's Gail's version. My first variation, instead of attaching the piece, this piece here, I used lace to create the belly band. So it's going to be a slightly different over the page belly band, where you've got lace holding it together. And then you can tuck the other piece on in as a journaling card or use it somewhere else, or you could attach it to the page as like a full page pocket, whatever you want to do. And then basically I did the same thing with the pockets. So there's that one. And then the last one, again, same thing with the pockets, but instead of creating a full-on over the page belly band, I created and over the top of the page belly band, or you could leave it as a flip up. It's completely up to you. You've got some choices there. So it still has the pocket at the bottom, and then at the top on this side you can glue it down just across the top here, and then stick the journaling card you made to go along with it up underneath. And I did, after making this one, adjust my measurements, which I'll tell you about when we get to it. Or you could glue across the top and down the sides and just have a smaller tuck spot. Completely up to you. So those are what we're gonna create. So you're gonna want 12 by 12 paper, preferably double-sided, but you could use a single-sided paper, and I did grab one out of my stash that I've had for like ever that's single-sided, to show you how you could use a single-sided sheet. And I actually did some planning out and prep work. So here's, if you want to take a screenshot, this is these are Gail's measurements, and then I'll flip it over and show you mine for the variation. So we're going to cut our 12 by 12 paper down at 3.5, then 4.5 off of the remainder. The 4.5 piece will get cut down to 8, and then the remaining square, well, actually it's a rectangle, will get cut down at 2.25, so you get two tags that are 2.25 by 4. The 3.5 gets scored at 10 5/8 and 2. The 4 gets scored at 1.5, 4, and 5.5. For my variation, instead of the only change is, instead of scoring at 5 5/8, we're gonna score at 5 1/4. So those are our variations. I've got my timer all set, and so we're gonna get started. Don't worry, I will go over the measurements as I am cutting, and I'm gonna start the timer, pull out my paper trimmer, and yes, I restarted this video because if you notice, I swapped out my single-sided sheet of paper because my very first cut, I cut the wrong measurement. So I'm gonna make sure I have my measurements in front of me. I'm gonna start the timer. We're gonna do all of our cutting and then all of our scoring, and if we have time, we'll decorate after we assemble. So, first cut is at 3.5, not 3 inches, 3.5 inches. Then from the remaining sheet, we're gonna cut at 4.5 inches. Set the piece we cut off to the side, and then I'm gonna cut this down to 8. And then the remaining scrap gets cut in half to 2.25 for our little tags. And so that's our first set. So again, we are cutting at 3.5, 4.5, cutting the 4.5 piece down to 8 by 4, and then cutting our little 4 piece down to 2.25. Sorry for bumping the camera. And again, 3.5. I'm just trying to decide if I want to cut, where I want to cut my 3.5 off of. I think I want to do it that way. 3.5. 4.5. 8. 2.25. At some point, you're going to get tired of hearing me say this. 3.5. 4.5. 8. 2.25. This one I think I'm gonna swap. Do it this way, so we'll do 3.5. 4.5. I don't know why I get jaggedy when I try cutting downward. I always mess that up. 8. I will clean that up when we do assembly. 2.25. 3.5. 4.5. 8. 2.25. Ew. Okay, that one's fine. All right, this one I'm going to take a look at and see what we want. If I do 3.5. I think that'll work. 3.5. 4.5. I think we're gonna cut it at 8 going this way so we can keep all those little birdies intact. And then 2 1/4. Now this is a variety of Minte and 49 and Market paper out of my stash because I got a big stash of paper. A really big stash. Alright, I got like 4 more sheets. We're going to cut them all down and we'll see how many we end up assembling, but this way I can always 3 1/2. Assemble some off camera. 4 1/2. 8. 2 1/4. This one's actually Elizabeth Craft Designs. So there is one variation in here. And this one's a little thinner, so I don't know how well it's going to do, but we're going to give it a try. 3 1/2. 4 1/2. Say it with me. 8. 2 1/4. 'We're gonna cut looking at this side. Let's do, where's 3 1/2 get us? 3 1/2 going that way is gonna cut off that bird's face. All right, let's go 3 1/2 this way. That should work. 3 1/2. Let's see where 4 1/2 going this way gets us. So yeah, if you've got images, you may wanna take a look. I cut a little bit of the bird's beak off over here, but not that much. And then 8. Let's go this way. And 2 1/4. Last one. 3 1/2. 4 1/2. 8. 2 1/4. All right, we're done with cutting. Let's do some scoring. I'm going to use a scoreboard. You don't have to use a scoreboard. You can use a scoring tool and a ruler if you would like, but I just find it's way easier to use a scoreboard. Okay. So on our 4-inch piece, I think this one will do, well, the 4-inch piece, it doesn't matter. It's always the same. Let's go this way. It's 1 1/2, 4, 5 1/2. I'm tempted to go through and do all of the 4-inch pieces at once and then do all of the 3-inch pieces, just because my brain, I think, will do better with remembering the numbers that way. So 1 1/2, 4, 5 1/2. That side, 1 1/2, ooh, 4, 5 1/2. Yeah, I'm not sure how well this one's gonna work. One and a half, 4, 5 1/2. 1 1/2, 4, 5 1/2. score on this side. 1.5 for 5.5. One and a half for, whoops, 5.5. Yeah, that's the janky side. I will have to trim that up. One and a half for 5.5. I actually think I want that as the piece showing, so we're gonna go 1.5 for 5.5 on that one. So yeah, check out both sides on your double-sided paper and decide which one. Ooh, I think we're going that way on this one. I forgot to check the back side of this when we were cutting. 1.5 for 5.5, and last one. And this is our single-sided paper. 1.5, and it's a thinner paper too, so we'll see how well it does for 5.5. All right, heading back the other way. I think this one, we are gonna do my variation. So on this one, we're gonna score at 2 and 5.25. And I'm just looking because the pocket's gonna fold up like this. That is the one thing with directional paper. You gotta deal with the direction. All right, we're gonna score at 2. And $10.25 on this one. Do we want to do a variation on this one? Yeah, let's go ahead and do the variation on this one. And then for this one, we will do two 10 and 5/8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Which is the tick just after the 10.5. Yeah, because that will then, and we'll go like, yep, that'll work. Okay. This one we will do the variation, because I like this. I want to not cover that. That's 10.25. This one will go to 10 and 5/8. So this will show on the back side with that and that. Yes. We'll figure it out when we get to it. Two 10 and 5/8 on this one. This one we're gonna do two 10 and 5/8 because that'll work. This one we're gonna do 2 and 10 1/4 because I want to do lace with this one. So we'll do one lace one, I think, and probably the rest will be the other variations. We're gonna do 10 and 2 and 10 5/8 on this one because it's a little flimsier. So I think doing the gal version will work better because it'll reinforce more, if that makes any sense. We got 2 more. I'm gonna go 2. And let's do this one 2 and 10 5/8. And this one we'll do the variation. And we'll go 2 and 10 1/4. And that's everybody's score. So I'm gonna put my scoreboard away. I'm gonna grab my green mat that I stuck somewhere. So that we can do the folding and have a firm surface to fold on. I am going to use my bone folder to assist with the folding just because with especially the thicker papers, it just makes it work better. And so we're going to go through and do all the folding on our pieces. And then we'll do all the gluing and anything else we're going to do. Now, for the pocket page, what we're gonna do is we fold up, then we fold back, then we fold up again. So it's gonna create a pocket like so. And I'll go over that with the rest of them. So I don't know if there's any difference in the quality of my video currently, but I have finally gotten a new phone, and it's the first time I have ever gotten like the iPhone that is currently out. So I did pick up an iPhone 15, and so this is the first video I'm filming using it. All right, so for our pocket, it's up, back, up. Right? I am folding this correctly, right? Yep, okay. Just consulting my... So it goes like that. Yep. Just had one of those, wait, am I doing this right moments? And then, yeah, this one's gonna go this way. And this way. So yes, I just got it this week, and did I have some issues? So I set up my phone. Everything's working. We're going good. But I was having an issue. I wasn't getting a text message to you with the code for my Audible, because I love listening to audiobooks. So again, it's up, back, up. I kind of folded it differently that time. Do we want that? Or do we want, I think we want to go that. I think I like that better for this one. And so I wasn't sure what the heck was going on, but both of my phones were still essentially up and running. So it had told me I could delete what was on my old phone. So I deleted my old phone, and as soon as I told it to do that, all right, so we're gonna go fold up, back, up, and then the phone number disappeared off of my new phone. So I had no functioning cell phone at that point because my old phone was wiped and my new phone had all of my stuff on it, but no phone number anymore. So I couldn't make calls, text messages, anything. So that necessitated a run out to Verizon. So I went to the one closest to my house, and I'm okay with those things being, actually we could, no, because that'll put it that way. And so again, we're gonna go up, back, up. So yeah, I had to run out, and so I went to the Verizon shop closest to my house, but that's not a corporate Verizon shop. And I bought my phone online through Verizon. So I had to, so he tried, he was great. Lovely gentleman who attempted to get me up and running. All right, I'm trying to decide. So this is the one we're doing gal style. Right, we're gonna go this way. Very helpful gentleman attempted to get it fixed, but because it was done through, because I did it through the website and not through them at the shop, they couldn't actually fix my phone. So I had to then drive over to a corporate Verizon, and this was lots of fun because I'm like, I had a vague idea where the one near the mall is located, but not entirely. But because I didn't have my cell phone functioning, I couldn't use like the GPS on my phone to get there. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. All right, I think right, this is one I did at the, just trying to, yeah, because I want to do, we're going to do it that way. Because I really like that. I want to keep that. That's the one problem, is when you want to keep the same side as this, is it causes an issue in that there's not going to be the distinction between these two, but we can use some inking to accomplish that. All right, up, back, up, and this I know is the 49 and Market Blossom collection. Set that one aside. And yeah, we decided we were going to go this way. And this one's my variation, so we're actually going to fold that one back because I wanted to keep that. I really like that. Okay. That. But when I was at the Verizon, the non-corporate Verizon store, the guy looked at my phone and he's like, "You've got covers on the lenses on the camera part." I'm like, "Yeah, because I dropped my phone a lot." He's like, "I dropped mine a lot." So I don't think he had seen the that there were covers to protect your camera lenses on the iPhone 15, because if you haven't seen them in person, like, the lenses are huge and stick out, and it's, I was a little concerned, and when I was ordering the phone, it popped up with, "You can get a discount on buying these," and I'm like, okay, because yeah, I put on as much of protection as I can on my phone because I am brutal. All right. Did we decide we were doing this? first off, which version is this? This is my variation. So it's gonna go back, up, that. Yep, we're gonna go that way. Get the butterfly peeking up. I don't mind text being upside down so much. If you do, then you're gonna want to pay more attention to if your paper's directional, the direction you're doing stuff in. Since I don't mind it, I'm not paying that much attention because I figure I can always decorate over any upside down text that's bugging me. All right, last one. This one we did, yes, we did regular style because it helps if you hold it the right way. Because what we're gonna do is we're gonna fold it, because this is mostly plain. I think it just got smush on it. Because that will get covered when we put this piece inside, like so. And yeah, we're definitely gonna need to ink to offset the things. So this one will go up. So all we have to worry about is, ooh, and that cracked. All right. So all we'll have to worry about covering is this one section. And I'm definitely gonna pull out some washi to reinforce our folds on this one. All right, so assembly, pretty straightforward. If you want to ink, I would ink at this point. I am gonna grab for this guy, I think I'm gonna pull out my Scorched Timber Oxide ink. Let me grab a little dauber. The one I want. This is the one I want. Oh, and actually, if you're gonna round corners, I'd round corners, then ink, because that then cuts down on the amount of re-inking you have to do. So on this one, I'm gonna round my top corners. I have a feeling we are not gonna decorate anybody. Given how much time is left, that's okay. For the tags, I've got my little tag template, which I buried. And so I'm gonna go ahead and cut off my tag shape with some scissors. That, and round my bottom corners. For the centerpiece, we're gonna round all the corners on it. What is going on with you? And I think I am gonna go ahead and round these corners. Wait, and try. For some reason, my thing is jamming. Hold on one sec. I'm gonna pause everything and I'll be right back. So, okay, I think I've got it sorted, but I think I'm also going to just switch to using this one for now. Let's start us up again. And I did notice while I was doing that, because I was sorting my pile out so that we could do a lace one next, and my other variation to make sure we got those done on screen. And I should be inking while I'm talking. I noticed I had scored this one in the wrong spot for what we were doing, so I went back and fixed that off screen. So yeah, we're gonna quickly ink our edges. This one, it's particularly important because we are putting the exact same patterns together for that. So I want to make sure I've got my edges all inked up. And I do want to notch my bottom pocket. So let me pull out my notch punch. You, of course, if you don't have a notch punch, can use a circle punch to cut a little divot out. And then let's ink the edges of this real quick. And I'm gonna ink this guy. Oh, I've got to add stuff to the edges on there. Let's just ink this section while we've got the ink out for this one. Set it aside, set that aside, and I'm going to show you how to assemble this part. All right, so you want to try and get it lined up as even as possible. I'm using the lines on my mat to try and get it straight. And then about halfway, and I'm putting it and roughly even between the top and the bottom. And then what I'm going to do is grab my glue. I'm using Barely Arts. You can use whatever you like. And I am going to run glue. Let's see, let's glue. I've done it this way, and I realized to stay on screen and be able to glue on screen, I need to turn it this way. So we've got it roughly even on all sides. So I'm going to run glue along here and here. I don't need to go all the way to the bottom because we don't want to glue it closed so that it'll go over a page. So I've got that glued down. I'm just going to make sure I didn't glue it down there. And then do the same up top. Again, being sure not to glue all the way to your fold line. I did fix this to the right side height. Yes. Ooh, 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 ooh. I'm going with the, well, I flubbed that one up because I scored in the wrong spot and then was using that as the guide when I started assembling. So we've got a much bigger gap up top than down bottom. This is I'm hoping this is not indicative of how the rest of my day is going to go, since I've got a few more things I want to film today. So yeah, it's not centered like I thought it was because I was using the wrong score line. And the reason that adjusting the score line was important is if I used the other one, it would not have fit over the page like so. So yeah, it's a little off, but I'm not too bothered by that. All right, I am gonna reinforce the fold on this because it buckles up a little bit. Set that aside. And then for this guy, I am gonna grab some washi, and I'm just gonna grab what I have on my desk, which is some All in Create washi, and I'm just gonna go over where I've got the cracking with the washi. Which is not wanting to cooperate. All right. And since this is very easy to reposition washi, I am gonna run some glue along here and I need to speed it up if I want to show you the lace in the other one. Okay, let's get this done quickly. I'm just gonna fold that over and fold that over, and so we now have the washi covering there. And I'm probably just gonna decorate this when I'm ready to decorate it, but I do need to add some washi on the bottom. You could ink it, but if you're doing papers that are just single-sided, just be mindful of how you're folding and assembling so that you can minimize the portion that is plain, that is showing. All right, so let me show you how to glue our pockets closed. So we're gonna run some glue along here to the fold and here to the fold, and fold that up and hold it down for a sec so it takes. Then we're gonna run glue from here to the fold and here to the fold and fold that down. And then up here and here. And I did not put punches, like notch out on my pockets, because I could do it for this one. My punch did not like trying to do it through two, which is what I did on one of them. And then we've got tag and tag, which definitely needs some decorating so it'll stand out. All right, set that one aside. Let me grab the lace and this one. This is not the one I wanted. This is the one I want. All right, so for this one, what we're gonna do is we're gonna just cut a piece of lace that is the size of our, where we need to put it. And I'm looking at this and I'm going, you know, we're gonna go this way. Gonna see if I do there. We're just gonna trim right here because it's easiest. I'm gonna use Fabri-Tac to do this. And I'm just gonna tack a little bit of the lace down. And then flip it over and come over here. Let's try and get it straight-ish. And I'm just gonna add some Fabri-Tac here. Now, when I press this down, I'm gonna need to be sure to, because it's lace, come in right away, hold it in place to get it to tack down so that I don't glue it shut. But that will go over the page. That will not go over the page. How did I mess this up? Because I used the new measurements on this one instead of the old measurements, which, yeah, it's turning out to be one of those days. All right. Let's see, can I get it off? Can I get it off? I can. Let's see if I can get it off this side, because, yeah. All right. Oops, let's not close that. I'm going to go in and fix the scoring, and we're going to try this again. Yeah. I I should have sorted the papers before I did the scoring to make sure I had them exactly as I wanted them. All right, let's try this again, and hopefully our piece of lace, which, where did it go? I just had it a second ago. Oh yeah, it's definitely one of those days. The lace disappeared. Where did the lace go? Are you like screaming at me because you can see it and I just can't seem to see it? All right, hopefully I will find that eventually. We're gonna just cut a new piece of lace and try this again. So yes, I also just lost a pair of scissors I just had a second ago. This is gonna be one of those kind of days. Oof. All right, let's try this again. So I'm gonna put a little Fabri-Tac up here and fold it down like so and flip over. And again, we're gonna bring that up, put a little Fabri-Tac down, pull it over, and of course it's going upside down, but I don't really care. At this point, I'm like, it's good enough. So this is then going to slip over our page. Like so. And you've got the lovely lace with the lovely flowers. And actually, I think we could just flip it so that that's right. It's kind of one of those semi-directional, like which way do the flowers go? So you can just adjust it like that. So there's that one. I will probably go back and punch my corners later, but I do want to show you the assembly of this pocket again, just to make sure we got it, since the other one was causing us such problems. I am going to ink up here, and I think with this one I'm going to use Victorian Velvet. Which, here it is. We are going to run out of time, so I'm probably going to go over time on this one a little bit so that I can show you the assembly of the other one. And the rest of it I can actually ink off screen because it's just really the tops of the pockets that are hard. All right, so we are going to start by gluing from this fold line up to that fold line. Fold over, fold down. We are now going to glue from this fold line to where we've already folded to the end of the page. And fold back. And then from the fold line to the end of the page again. And there's our double pockets, and so our little tags, which we can flip this way so that they show up, can go in like that. And then this will be a journaling card that you can either tuck in to this belly band when it's over the page, or just put it somewhere else in the journal. So those are going to need some finishing touches later. But I want to show you one where it's the variation. Oh, and there's time, but we're going to go ahead And I'm just gonna assemble the variation so that you can see how that one gets assembled, if I can find. All right, this one, and these cards. So for the variation, I am gonna notch I'm gonna grab my scorched timber and ink my edges, at least on the pocket, because it's so much easier than trying to ink afterwards. And so what I'm gonna do for this one is I am gonna glue just along here from fold line to end of page. So that creates the pocket. Now, so when I go to put it in a journal, I can then decide to either run a bead of glue just along the top like here and have all of this open so that you could tuck something big up underneath. Or you can glue down the sides and across the top and just tuck something small up underneath like that. So that's a decision you can make when you go to put it in a journal. Let's go ahead and just ink and glue this pocket shut too, so that this one is at least has all the gluing done, if not all of the punching. Oh, I apologize. I don't know what the heck was going on today, but I was definitely on the struggle bus today. All right, we're gonna glue again from thin line along the edge from score to score. Fold up and press down. Then along this piece from score to score. And from score to the end of the page, fold up, which gives us one pocket, two pockets, and over the page pocket. Oh, and I did want to point out, when you install this, you can also decide if you want to make this a belly band, in which case I would suggest gluing on this side along here as well and along the bottom, and that'll create a belly band that you could stick a journaling card, not this one because it'll be too tall, but stick something behind, or leave it just attached on this side, in which case this can be a flip up, and you could always like add a piece of just plain coffee dye paper to this to create a hidden journaling spot. That'll be completely up to you when you go to install it on your page. All right, so let's see what little we got done today. This seemed to be more like a mass prep video than a mass make. So we did this variation. We did this variation, for which we have the lace in. And we did the original version with single-sided paper, so I just have this space to decorate when I am ready to do that. And a whole bunch ready to be assembled. Oh, my apologies. I don't know why today was such a struggle, but it was. It happens. So that's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, please do all the things that lets YouTube know you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave me a comment down below. Thanks for joining me, and happy crafting.